return. And when Trey signed with you guys, did you anticipate him having the type of impact that he's having?
How many questions you gonna ask at one time?
Sorry, I figured I'd get him out.
Darren's return, I thought he did fine. I didn't think he pushed it. But that's not because of his hammy. That's because he's sick. You know, I was nervous he wasn't going to play. And then I'd have to tell you guys again, something came up and you guys will say I'm bullshitting you, which I'm not at all. I've been 100% honest, but I thought he did fine. But I didn't plan on playing him 17 and a half minutes the first half. I wanted to play about 14. And then when he got however many he got to start the second half, he was gassed. And I didn't think, if it had been a close game, may have been different, but I wasn't going to try to play him over 27 anyway, so I thought, why even put him back out there? But I thought he was fine. I thought Trey was great. I thought Trey was, you know, you could make a case that Trey was the best player in the game, and you could make a case Melvin was the best player in the game the second half, because Melvin created all the pace when we kind of distanced ourselves a little bit. But yeah, those guys did well.
I feel like you've had games where you guys haven't closed out the first half well. Here you get it out to 8 on that 3 by Trey at the end. How important was that in the overall pace of the game, and what was your perspective?
I think Gurley told me this, and you know, he comes up with something that's actually relevant, you know, maybe once every year. So he told me something that we went on a 23-3 run from the under 4 till the under 4 the first half till the under 16. Is that basically right? So obviously that was the key part to the game. And you're right, we haven't closed out first halves very well, so that was good. But Trey making that shot, you know, that was also luck too. So I don't think anybody deserves too much credit for that.
Bill, how do you think your guys played with Darren instead of you talked about?
Actually, I didn't think we played great with him. I thought we stood, and there wasn't any ball and body movement. And the way they guarded the ball screens and hard hedged, we didn't play behind it and take advantage of it. I didn't think we played great. But on the flip side, I think there was 4 or 5 times he could have gotten a paint touch and didn't do it, because I think he was just trying to fit in. You know, I told him, hey, you're sick. You know, it's your first game back. You haven't played in a month or whatever. Hey, let it come to you. When I don't think he's a let it come to me type of guy. So he'll be better. He'll be better next time. I thought he's fine this time, but I don't think we did a lot to help him, and vice versa.
Right. Bill, did you anticipate that being part of the process of reintegrating him? That, you know, the other guys learning how to play with him would be part of this?
I did, but I didn't anticipate him being sick. The day after we played Connecticut, first team against second team, half court offense, we had 20 points. He had 14 points and 3 assists. I mean, he's responsible for every point. So I think that I anticipated probably him to be not to shoot it great or do anything like that, but for him to be more aggressive in certain ways. And to be honest with you, I was just glad. Hey, this time last night, or not this time last night, but this time yesterday, when he's laying on the training room table, we didn't even know if he'd play. So
we've heard you kind of say what it's been like for you navigating, talking to us about Darren when he's going to play. How have you seen him handling wanting to play and, you know, being frustrated about the chatter maybe going around about?
I think it frustrates him. You know, it's the world we live in today's time, though. It's BS though. That kid's over there getting 4 treatments a day for 45 minutes every treatment. That kid spends more time shooting on his own than anybody else maybe that I've ever coached. That kid wants to be out there so bad, and then whenever I say whatever I'm going to say, you know, it's not enough for me to say it's day to day, which that's what it's been, day to day. You know, so there's always, you know, a reason why somebody can say something negative. You know, if he had had a compound fracture, nobody would say anything, because you can see it. This you can't see. And unfortunately, it wasn't bad enough that it was to keep him totally out, because he did practice, but it wasn't good enough that he could play the way he needs to play. So
Bill, did you tweak it in some kind of way? Like I saw Cheddar like working on it.
I think we do that a lot. But no, he said he had nothing in his hamstring or back of his knee, so nothing.
And do you think the NIL component of this and the new world we're in has created a different dialogue around things like this? As far as
From outside people?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, how many people look at our guys now and say, we're going to watch these guys grow up before our very eyes if they're making what is perceived to be a substantial amount of money? It's that way all across America. It's a different world, but that's also the world that we say it's so great for the kids. So great for the kids. One of the consequences of it being so great for the kids is you also give people a reason to have opinions and talk. That's just the way it is. I think in his situation, it may be good for him, because he's going to get talked about a lot moving forward. Hey, it's all preparation for him. So I don't see it as, I see it as part of the process more than I see it as a negative, if that makes any sense to you.
But just wonder what stood out to you about the atmosphere, and to what degree you think it speaks to the sense of the rivalry?
Well, hey, I was told a couple of days ago that we'd only sold 11,000 tickets. So it's a different deal because it's not part of our season ticket package. And then I get here and I see that. I thought it was pretty darn good. I thought the crowd showed up. I actually was very pleasantly surprised how many students showed up, because I don't even know what the students cost, because it wasn't part of their package, was it?
It wasn't part of the package, but they did have tickets allotted.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though, but they had to pay on top of what the package is. So to me, I thought the crowd was great. I thought we did a great job, doing whatever we did to get the numbers there. And I don't know what the final numbers were, but I thought it was good. It wasn't UConn in Allen Fieldhouse, but I thought it was still very good.
Dennis seemed to be speaking also. Dennis, despite being on the other end of this, was like really, I think, moved by the way it felt in here. How much do you feel like it does reflect the rivalry itself, though, and how much do you want to keep seeing it go on?
Well, I initially wanted to play the game, so last year at this time, driving back from Columbia, I was just as soon it'd be over right then. But yeah, I obviously feel better this year, but I don't know what's going to happen in the future with scheduling, because people will have opinions about that. But guys, on scheduling, moving forward, you schedule based on where can you go make some money, because that's the world we're living in. That player's error deal and these things that are coming up like that, it's hard to pass those things up. So, depending on how, the Champions Classic and everything else, depending on how many games you got, because we overscheduled this year. I mean, this is a hard schedule this year for us, especially. We obviously didn't know we wouldn't be full strength, but it's been a hard schedule for us.
Got time for a couple more.
Coach Trey talked about the locker room celebration and how close these guys are. Do you see that, the closeness, and is it something that you've seen that maybe the last couple of years? You just seen this team is really close.
I actually think this team's closer than the last couple of years' teams. So not that those guys didn't like each other, but there seems to be a more commonality of what's important to these guys. You got a bunch of 25-year-olds that, or 24-year-olds that, all are in serious relationships or whatever, and you end up spending all your time doing something different than hanging out with your brothers, which is fine. But this year we don't have that as much. They pretty much hang together all the time.
Bill, what was your perspective on the situation with the double technical before halftime?
I didn't know anything. Maury said he flopped. I said, you touched him. Which they told me he did touch him.
Mm-hmm.
So if he touched him, it's a technical. And so I don't know what Missouri did or whatever, but to be honest with you, I was not displeased with that call, because I thought the best we could get out of it would be offsetting. I thought that's the best we could do in that situation.
Coach, last year, obviously Mizzou took that match, and then this past fall in football, Mizzou obviously took that match. What was it like to obviously get this win on a neutral site, but also to swing the rivalry back your guys' way?
That's a great question, and to be honest with you, I haven't. I want us to beat Missouri in football, but I'm not concerned about. I'm concerned about basketball. So what happens in football? Obviously, we want KU, the good guys, to win every time, but the reality of it is, to me, that doesn't impact and make our rivalry more intense, because football, to me, is a totally separate entity.
Coach, what did you think about Melvin Council today and that dunk at the end?
I actually thought that would be one of the first questions. I didn't think the dunk was inappropriate because of the speed he was coming at, and they were grabbing him by the shirt at the time, trying to slow him down and all that stuff. But I think if it hadn't been happening so fast, I think that it would be inappropriate. So, I think, depending on what perspective you come from, they came down their very next possession, threw a lob, trying to dunk it. So, it wasn't like there was 3 seconds left and everybody quit playing. Everybody was still playing at that time. So I thought it was okay.
How much have you seen Bryson just kind of buying into, playing big? I believe you kind of said that after the North Carolina game, and what has that done for this team?
Well, I think he has played bigger. He can still play bigger, but I think Bryson's been good. He's a good player. He's got skill and he's got good size and everything. I think he could. I thought we actually did a decent job on Mark, with the exception of transition. We just couldn't get in front of him in transition. I bet he scored 8 of his points in transition, and then we fouled him too much. But as far in half-court offense, I actually thought we did a decent job on him, and he was Bryson was a big reason why, because that's who he started out on.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.